How's it going, everyone? Some of you guys know me, some of you don't. For the people who don't know me, my name is Rob Christian. I'm a longtime reptile keeper, and before I moved to the state of Maine, I was a longtime arachnid keeper. And I just needed to make this video to get this message out there that we in the state of Maine are going to be fighting some serious changes as far as what regulations and what is going on with our state. I'm not just anyone who's just been doing this for a little while. When I lived in Massachusetts, I did educational programs for almost 10 years. I did hundreds and hundreds of programs throughout my entire career. I'll just show you guys. This is a picture of me when I was in the 6th grade doing education at one of my schools with some lizards that I had. I got tons of pictures, just me out there educating people, doing my part, trying to get information out there and try to show people that reptiles aren't scary, terrifying creatures that a lot of the media is trying to tell us. But this is my life. This is my passion. This is what I've wanted to do my entire life, is to work with reptiles. And currently, as it stands, Maine has actually got some of the tightest restrictions in the entire country for what exotic animals you can and cannot keep. It's actually illegal in the state of Maine for people to own any sort of arachnid. So if you have a tarantula or a scorpion, every other state in the country you can own those. In Maine, it is illegal. You need to apply for importation and possession permits if you want to get them. And I actually applied for permits when I moved to the state, and here are my permits. And I applied for several permits to get animals that I already had, and I just wanted to bring with me when I moved here. But I was denied. And I've got over 20 years experience working with tarantulas. And these are already animals that I already owned. And I still had my permits denied. Inland Fisheries and Wildlife is the department in Maine that is in charge of making these laws and enforcing them. And currently they've been working with a task force to try and change the system because it is really tough on them. They are having a tough time enforcing their laws. Their laws are kind of vague as it is right now. The way that Maine currently works is we've got an unrestricted list, so a list of animals that are legal for you to own without any need for a permit. And then everything else that is not included on that list is illegal. You can't own it. You would have to apply for a permit to own it. It covers every exotic animal that would be in Maine, non-domesticated animals. So currently in the state of Maine, if you guys know anything about reptiles, I just want to put it out there that right now we can own Boelen's pythons, which get 12 to 13 feet long, Parsons chameleons, one of the largest species of chameleons in the world, black-headed pythons, boas, stuff like that are unregulated. You can have them without a permit, no problem. But stuff like womas that get about 5 feet long are pretty easy to take care of. Completely captive bred in the United States. We don't pull from wild populations anymore because Australia has extremely tight legislation regarding what leaves and goes into their country. Those are restricted. You can't own them. Dumeril's ground boa is another one that's commonly bred and kept in the United States and every other state. Legal in the state of Maine. Manageable size animal to work with. A couple of the other ones I just wanted to point out, tomato frogs, stuff like that. And also I want to go back to arachnids because that's one of my real passions. That's one of the things that I've wanted to work with and I have worked with for my whole life before I came to the state of Maine. So what is going to be happening with the laws in Maine, or the way that they're regulated currently, the changes that's going to be happening, is I just got a notification that we are going to be switching to a 4-tiered system, technically. It's considered a 3-tiered system. We're still going to have an unrestricted list, so we'll have a list of animals that are completely legal for you to own without a permit. They haven't decided, or they didn't mention whether or not that'll be our current list, which as it stands, you can only have 4 or 5 species of tortoise, 4 species of turtle, 4 species of chameleon, and then various pythons and boas, as well as lizards, but I won't get too involved with that. The new system that is going to be put into place is going to have Class 1, Class 2, Class 3, and then unrestricted animals. Well, I just want to talk to you guys real quick. I'm going to do a quick rundown of what it's going to look like for Class 1. Class 1 animals are going to be considered, you can't own them. No one can own them, and there's no possibility for you to get a permit for these animals. So some of these animals that are going to be on that Class 1 class are going to be North and South African rock pythons, reticulated pythons, Burmese pythons, Indian pythons, Gila monsters, beaded lizards, scrub pythons, all species of anaconda, all Eunectes species, Nile monitors, Komodo dragons, red-eared slider turtles, Chinese soft-shelled turtles, all species of crocodilians, and then there's also one species of parakeet and one species of swan that are currently listed on the Class 1. So that's no ownership. You can't apply for a permit. In the email that they sent us with the information, there will be no possibility of moving any of these animals that have been classified under Class 1 into Class 2, Class 3, or unrestricted. So, I also forgot to add in there, all venomous snakes, elapids, crotalids, vipers, all that stuff, all venomous snakes, and I believe all rear fang venomous snakes outside of the genus Heterodon. So you can have western and eastern hognose snakes, but anything else that's rear fang venomous will be considered illegal. Class 1, you cannot own them. You cannot apply for a permit for them. You can't move them out of Class 1. There's no possibility of anyone owning them in the state. So, moving from there, some of the classification, the reasons why an animal will be classified in a Class 1 are from their words, or there's not enough information to put them into Class 2 or Class 3. Or they have not been reviewed for Class 2 or Class 3 or unrestricted. So if you got, what's going to happen is if an animal isn't put into Class 2, Class 3, or unrestricted, it's automatically going to go to Class 1. Those animals will be up for review, the ones that have automatically been put there. But if they, for whatever reason, decide that, it's Class 1, it's Class 1 forever, no changing that. That's it. No one can have them, period. Any of those animals that could be considered a threat to Maine wildlife or public will be put into that Class 1. Or if they're considered threatened, endangered, or declining in their wild species in their native range. Any animal that could be considered any of those things can be put into Class 1, no matter whether they're bred in captivity or not. Another thing that is for Class 1, if it is considered invasive elsewhere, that doesn't mean a place with the climate of Maine. It means if an animal is considered invasive elsewhere. So, theoretically, they could say that any animal that is considered invasive someplace else, even at a different climate than Maine, could be considered Class 1 animal, meaning no one can own it. If that doesn't scare you, I don't know what will. Moving on from Class 1, Class 2. This will be the next step down from Class 1, so you're going to have a lot of restrictions and a lot of kind of hoops that you're going to have to go through to get these animals. For reasoning that they would be considered Class 2, they gave as threatened or endangered in their range, or an animal that can harbor or pass on an agent that is harmful to humans, livestock, poultry, wildlife, or flora. So, a lot of people in the past have kind of linked or tried to link reptiles, especially turtles, with salmonella, which could be considered harmful to humans. So theoretically, they could put all turtles and tortoises into Class 2. I'll get back to that in just a moment here. Any of those animals in Class 2 will be put there if they can inflict serious bodily harm or endanger the public, or if they have specific caging requirements that would require a professional facility. So, in order to get a Class 2 permit, you'll need to be an exhibitor, considered an exhibitor by the state, a rehabilitator, a registered lab with the United States, or a professional facility, a research facility. They'll be allowed no contact with humans or the public. So if you've got these animals and you have someone over, anyone of your friends that comes over, they are not legally allowed to interact with the animal. It is only the permit holder that is allowed to interact with the animal. You need to have a contingency plan, an emergency plan of what happens if you're sick, ill, die, or whatever, what's going to happen with the animals, and what is to be done with them if you are out of the picture for whatever reason, you go on vacation, how you're going to take care of them, etc. So, requirements for you to get a Class 2 permit from the state will require you show you've got at least 1 year of husbandry experience with the similar animal, which means you pretty much have to come out of state if you are looking to prove that, because it's a class 2 animal. To get there, you'd have to take care of it for a year. Or you'd need 300 hours of training with some sort of accredited facility. You're also going to need a bachelor's of science or some other equivalent degree in science or biology. And they said that you can swap that out for an additional 150 hours of training. You're also going to need 2 professional references from an accredited facility, like a zoo facility, a accredited government facility, or the like. So you're going to need 2 professional references that are not just people who are experienced. Class 3 is the next step down. Any animal that could be considered invasive in Maine is one of the qualifications for being on Class 3. Class 3, also, one of the reasons why an animal would be put on there is if it can inflict bodily harm on human beings. They didn't say how much harm. So essentially, they could put just about anything that they want on there, bar none. Ferrets, guinea pigs, rabbits, anything. Literally anything. No, I'm not just talking about reptiles. This is going to be for all exotic animals. So essentially, pretty much anything they want, they can put on Class 3, which are going to require permits and are not unrestricted, if they want to, by these rules. Another qualification for an animal, a reason why an animal will be put on Class 3, if it lives longer than 10 years. So, pretty much any turtle or tortoise. The large majority of pythons and boas. I don't know what to say. It's bad. It's really bad. Again, to get a Class 3, you need to be an exhibitor, a permitted exhibitor, a rehabilitator, a U.S. research lab facility, or an experienced individual that has got, they're qualified, you can show that you've got knowledge, etc. Again, no public contact, so any of the animals that are considered on Class 3, you can't have friends over, you can't let them touch it, it's got to be the permit holder only, that is it. Another qualification that you're going to need for a Class 3 is you're going to need $250,000 liability insurance. You're going to need a maintenance plan, just like with the Class 2, so a written out plan that they're going to approve or deny regarding how you're going to take care of the animal, what happens if you're sick, what happens if you die, etc. Instead of the 300 hours that you need for a Class 2 permit, you're going to need 100 hours of experience or 1 year's experience. Same thing though, bachelor's degree in science or biology, and you can exchange that for 50 hours of accredited training. One of the things I forgot about Class 2, you're going to need $1 million of liability insurance to have any consideration of getting a Class 2 animal. In order to get a permit for either Class 2 or Class 3 animal, you're going to need to be at least 18 years old. You're going to need a site inspection. So they're going to have someone come to your house or facility and go through your caging, go through your facility, your area, your home, whatever, and make sure that, or they're going to need to approve you for those permits. And permits, the report after they do their inspection will need to be submitted to the state, and then after that, the reports have been reviewed, then you can be issued a permit, but not until then. In order to bring any of these animals that would be on Class 2 or Class 3 into the state, you need to apply for importation permits and then subsequently possession permits. And a lot of people in the past have used exhibitors permits in order to get and work with animals and do programs with the public. If you are going to be doing that under this current new legislation, you're going to need to see at least 500 people a year in your programs, or sorry, every 2 years, or do 40 programs per year in order to keep your exhibitor's permit. And you'll need to continue doing that every 40 programs per year, or see 500 people in your facility over 2 years continuously, or your permit will get revoked. So that's some pretty scary, intimidating stuff that's going to be happening in the state of Maine. I need you guys, if you're out there, if you're watching this video, I would really like you to take a minute 5 minutes out of your time, file an email to Inland Fisheries and Wildlife into our department. The person who is the assistant to our commissioner, who is accepting emails for what is going to be going on. Her email is crystal.f.thuralt@maine.gov. I'll spell that out. It's CHRIST.F.THERAULT @maine.gov. And she's the assistant to the commissioner. If I can get you guys to just send an email, please, I'm asking you. My friends, even if you don't know me, this is going to affect not just the state of Maine. This is going to be going on around the country. Once they show that they can do this in Maine, they're going to push it elsewhere. Maine has got some of the harshest temperatures and climate in the entire country, aside from Alaska. We regularly hit temperatures below zero during the winter months. This isn't about what can and can't survive in the state of Maine or what could be considered invasive to our native wildlife. This is about control. This is about them regulating the reptile industry. It's plain and simple. This isn't about rational science and what is possibly harmful to humans. This is about them controlling what's going on. This is my life. This is what I do. I moved up here 3 years ago from Massachusetts to work with reptiles. I picked up my life. I moved up here because I wanted to work with reptiles and I had an opportunity to do it here. And if this law goes through, if this change goes through as it's written, I won't be able to do that anymore. Plain and simple. So if I can get you guys to write an email, contact them. Inland Fisheries and Wildlife, their phone number, if you can give a call, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, is 207-287-8000. Just in your emails, in your phone calls, let them know that you are opposed, strongly opposed to the regulations that they're proposing for exotic animals in the state of Maine. If you're a constituent, if you are a voter in Maine, make sure you make that known. Even if you're not in the state of Maine, please, 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 I'm asking you to call, write, do an email. Email is the easiest thing you can do. If we can get some attention drawn to this and show that people care about this, we can fight this. I know we can. We need to. I need help. I need support. I can't do this by myself. I need your help. So if anyone can send an email, at the very least send an email just letting them know that you're opposed to this and that you don't think that it's fair, it needs further review, we need to change things. I'd appreciate it a lot. If you can even just share this video. If you know anyone who keeps reptiles or exotic animals, ferrets even are considered exotic, guinea pigs are considered exotic, gerbils, hamsters, lots of fish are considered exotic. Birds, I didn't even mention most birds. A lot of birds are going to fall under class 2 and class 3. So people who are looking to get birds are pretty much going to get wiped out. It's not fair. It's not fair. It's not right. It's unconstitutional. I really don't know how much more I can kind of stress this. It's important that we talk out against this. You guys send emails, send letters if you can. Call them. Let them know. We're going to have to push hard. We're going to have to push hard to get this changed. And I'm really hoping that you guys will help me out and kind of put it out there that we won't stand for this. That's what I need. I just want to say thank you for anyone who's sit down and watched this video. It kind of went a little bit longer than I was hoping, but I needed to get the information out there in an easily shareable form. And I just want to say thank you for watching this. If you get a chance, look up the New England Herp Society, neherp.com, or the Maine Herpetological Society. Share this video with your friends and anyone who you think might be helpful in getting this message out there. I really, really appreciate it. My name is Rob Christian. I'm the president of the Maine Herpetological Society, and I really appreciate your support.